Good morning. This is Don with Maranatha Adventures. Sally is with me, but she's behind the camera. So she's the camera person. So, anyways, this little video is going to be about how we get up into our Explorer's trunk up there. And a little history. Our camper is a 2019 Runaway Range Runner. It's the last year of being wood constructed. And back then, when we purchased it new, and well, this month, we'll make it 7 years ago that we purchased this, that Runaways Adventurous, their off-road version, wasn't even out. And like I said, Sally and I have been overlanding for 12 years. So we took a street version and modified it into a off-road version. But to get up into our trunk up there, our Explorer's trunk, I needed access. And the fenders on the Range Runner are aluminum, so you cannot step on them. Originally, they were just screwed into the side of the through the aluminum side into the plywood. But when I took this thing apart and then started building it up to be an off-road, I ran bolts all the way through. So, but you still doesn't mean that you can stand on them because they're made out of aluminum. The other thing is I didn't want to put a flat Jeep style fender on there because I wanted to keep the integrity of what the model was, which is a Runaway Range Runner. And they have the rounded or half round fenders. So to get up in there into the trunk where this 45-inch condition 1 trunk, it houses our awning walls, our Seth McGinnis can cooker. It houses our 2 lighting stands that are mounted on tripods. Sally's 9-quart porcelain coffee pot that we use to boil water in. Stakes and extra cordage up there for the awnings. But I have to get up there. And so after I mounted all this, the next thing was to come up with a system. And what I did was I got on Amazon and I ordered a 6-foot 6-inch telescopic ladder. But that wasn't good enough because I needed the clearance to clear the drip edge, the teardrop drip edge, rain guard, and the fenders without messing up the finish on the siding of the camper and the finish on the fenders. So what I done was that I started doing some research, like always, and I came up with a company that I use from Speedway Motors on their website. And what it is their 1 1/2 inch aluminum billet clamps. It's the same clamps I used upon what holds our recovery boards and our bridging boards onto our back duplicated roof rack. And these billet aluminum clamps, the inside diameter is 1 1/2 inch diameter. The top portion of the ladder, as it telescopics, the very top portion is 1 1/2 inch diameter. It's also drilled and tapped for a 1/2 inch by 20 coarse thread. And so what I did to make the standoffs is I got 2 inch by 1 1/2 by 20 1/4 inch hex bolts. And then I put rubber caps on, and the rubber cap size is 3/4 inch. The bolts and the rubber ends caps. They can be purchased at a local hardware store. So to get up in there, what I do, it sits up right there. It gives me the clearance that I need to clear the rain guard drip edge and the fenders. So what we'll do is we'll get right back at you as soon as we switch from tripod to selfie stick. Okay, getting to this, how the billet clamps are and how it's all mounted. So if you bring that a little bit closer and give it a look. As you see, they clamp around the top portion of the ladder. And then you can see how the 1/2 inch by 20 coarse thread threads into the end. And I forgot to mention that I actually put Loctite on the threads to seal them on there. And then how the rubber end caps slip over the hex head of the bolts. They have to be 3/4 inch. Anything smaller won't fit. Anything larger, they'll just fall off. As in, to give you a look here. I've tried different other ways of using rib nuts and 1/4 20 with smaller ends. They didn't hold up very well. This is what I came up with. So what it does is after I extend it, it slips right up underneath the Darchie. As you can see, I get the clearance here and the clearance down there. I wanted to share this video. For those that have square drop, teardrop trailers, off-road trailers that have trunks up there. Good, easy way of getting up there and having access to what's in your trunk. And like I said, our lighting and other items are in there. Without messing up the finish on your fenders. It's by standing on them. If you have fenders that are designed to be stand on. This gives you more distance away from the trunk. And for us, it works out perfect because our in-suite, Darchie in-suite, gives us the distance that we need. But at the same time, I can get into access if I don't want to swing out the Darchie out and get that all set up. Anyways, the bag. I looked on Amazon and everywhere for a telescopic ladder bag for 6 foot 6 inch. And no one had one. The smallest one I could find is a 12 footer for a 12-foot telescopic ladder. So my wife just cut the bottom off and we sized it up and she stitched the bottom up a couple of times to make sure it's stout. So we keep it stored in the bag. It's a neat setup. I like it. It goes wherever we go when we pull our camper. It's easy to put away. And fits perfectly in the bag. And we just toss it in the back of the truck when we're traveling, you know, in the back of the bed with the other gear. So I have access to a handle But anyways, I just wanted to take a few minutes of your all's time to share on this little mod that I did and why it works so well and why we like it so much. And but anyways, hope you liked the video. Give us a like, share, subscribe to our channel, comment. We like your comments and we like to answer them. And stick around. The devotion afterwards, I think you'll be encouraged by it. And we'll see you on the next video. God bless. This devotion is coming out of the Old Testament. I'll be reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 14. I'll also be reading from the New Living Translation. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous, how well I know it. When I read this verse and what I get from it is how each of us are wonderfully uniquely made. We live in this world that presses forth to conformity, to imitate, to be someone who you're really not, to do away with authenticity in oneself. Our appearances, our personalities, our talents and skills define our character, and it reflects God's true workmanship in each of us. The talents and the skill sets we have are gifted from God and are part of His plan. From the beginning, God created us in His own image. Each of us reflect God's character uniquely. What do I mean by this? That we share the qualities like creativity, love, a yearning for relationships, which all comes from God Himself. These qualities will vary between us. Don't think or let anyone persuade you thinking your qualities are not significant or important. Remember, God is the master crafter. You have a purpose in life. God created us for His purpose, that each of us have unique abilities which sets us apart from others. So when we look in the mirror, we're not just seeing a reflection of ourselves. We're seeing an individual made special and unrepeatable by God. We're one of a kind. That's right. That right there is worth marveling about. We should be thankful for our authenticity, and we shouldn't worry about what others think or say. God has already settled this issue of acceptance. I'm talking about with His Son Jesus. What I'm saying is, what Jesus did on the cross has made us entirely worthy to God. The truth is, there is two things that determine the value of something. First is who it belongs to, and second, what someone is willing to pay for it. The first part, we belong to God who created us. And the second part, Jesus paid the price in full for us on the cross. It doesn't get any better than that. Lastly, we need to thank God for the way He made each of us. Also, being confident in our uniqueness. It doesn't matter what the world says or thinks. What matters is what God says and thinks. We are His, and we are created with love and a purpose to live boldly, knowing that each of us are exactly who He intended us to be. That is when we know the truth, and that truth will keep us free. That is when we walk through life with joy and confidence, reflecting on our real purpose in life and the one who made us. I hope somebody gets something out of this. I really do. Give God the time He deserves. God bless.